How's it going, cool ducks? I'm Leafy Dandelion and welcome to my new channel. And by new channel, I mean my first channel ever. How have I not done this before? Who knows? But hopefully I can grow and learn more and make these videos better for you guys along the way. That was Ramen. This here's Val. Two adorable little corgis that are going to join us a lot in these videos. If you want to show them some love, you can jump onto their Instagram page. It's Ramen and Val. And just enjoy their photos and videos as well. But hopefully we'll see whether they give us 2 paws up or 2 paws down. Anyway, what this channel is going to be about for you guys is anime and animation given to you through the 3 big R's: reviews, reactions, and rankings. If there's anything in particular you want to see, please just drop it in the comments and I'll see if it's already on my list, and if not, I'll add it to the list and we'll see if I can get to it as soon as possible. Of course, if you see someone else drop something on there, vote up on it, and the more votes, the higher it's going to be on my list, because that's what we're here for, is that's just to make you guys happy. So for our first video, I'm going to do an anime review of an anime I probably should have watched a long time ago. By long time ago, I mean like a year ago. Anyway, that anime is Frieren Beyond Journey's End. I've only watched the first 6 episodes so far, and each episode I'm going to keep doing another 6 episodes until we've finished. But so far, I am absolutely loving this anime, guys. As someone who grew up through the 90s and loved things like Yu Yu Hakusho and Dragon Ball Z, it has been such a pleasure to see how far anime has come over the years. Like, I've always seen animation as a beautiful art form, but seeing it where it is now, and especially the boom in the last 5 or 6 years, things like JJK, Solo Leveling, and now Frieren, it really goes to show that anime and animation is finally getting taken seriously, and it's being seen for the true creativity that it is. Back on to why I think Frieren is up there with one of the anime that is really putting anime on the map now. It's not just the animation style, the color palettes, the choreography, all of it interacts so well with each other that it's just a cohesive art form that allows you to connect to these characters in this show that, without saying it in a negative way, none of the characters are outstandingly crazy or unique characters. You know, you've got a lecherous drunk priest, you've got the handsome hero, you've got the grumpy old dwarf, and you've got an elf who doesn't quite understand, you know, human interactions. Like, they've all been done before. But why is it in Frieren that we want to see more of these characters, and we get so entranced by their characters and their character growth? It's because Frieren does it in a way that feels like you are a part of their world, or you're their friends, and you're learning more about them, especially in the found family trope that they do. It's a common thing amongst fantasy anime. Anything from One Piece or Fairy Tail, it's a found family. And Frieren does it so well that you kind of forget the time skips and the flashbacks and stuff, and you just want to know more about each of these characters. Now, that's not to say that it's just the animation that's making me love these characters. It definitely is. Like, just the color palette alone of Fern makes me want to dye my hair purple again, because she is an absolutely gorgeous character design. They all are, really. It's just done so well. But another thing that really hooks me into it, it's the voice acting of this. Now, personally, I watch the show in dub, but I have seen a lot of film clips of the show in the original Japanese voice acting as well. And both of them have completely nailed it. The voice actress for Frieren, Mallory Raddock, while she might not be the biggest household name, she has been in things like Mushoku Tensei and Goblin Slayer. But she's nailed Frieren. She's nailed her mannerisms. She's nailed the way she interacts with other characters. And they all have, really. None of the characters' voices have taken me away from the overall story. The overall storyline itself. It's kind of like when I personally watch something like Dragon Ball Z, the Japanese through to the English dub. If I watch the Japanese, I'm thrown out because I'm not used to the voices. You know, I grew up with Sean Shamel and Chris Sabat as Goku and Vegeta and Piccolo and all that. I grew up with those voices, so I'm like used to it. It clicks in my head. With something like Frieren, I feel like I can watch it in Japanese or in English and still 100% appreciate and love the show, regardless if I'm switching between the two. Now, the storyline itself is a fairly simple storyline. It's heroes on a journey and they're traveling to defeat something or find something of mystical and magical value. But the way they do it with the time skips and the flashbacks, it just feels smooth. Watching a lot of other time skip stuff in the past, it can throw you out and it makes you feel like you're not in their world. It makes you feel like you've just been like, oh, damn, that's right, I'm watching an anime and now that I've been thrown out, I'm gonna go grab a drink or something. Frieren doesn't do that. Frieren it's a cohesive story, and it genuinely makes me want to go out and buy the manga and read the manga along with watching the anime. That's how well written it is. And that matching with the animation style, in recent years, one of the only other animes that I found myself really falling into that was Dungeon Meshi. And I think both Dungeon Meshi and Frieren being these sort of like simple yet different storylines and writing, it's made me fall back in love with this genre of anime. I guess you could say it's like a slice of life sort of style thing. I personally would just call it fun fantasy. Like, that's what it is. And no offense to all you isekai lovers out there, but I'm genuinely happy to see something that's not isekai just regurgitated again. As much as I loved some of the like older isekai, don't get me wrong, I adored So I Was Reincarnated as a Slime. You know, I loved a lot of those older isekais and stuff, but now it's just isekai after isekai, and something like Frieren, which probably the reason I didn't watch it straight away was I genuinely thought it might have been another isekai. I was so glad to see that it wasn't. I was so glad to see that it was a story in of itself that was different in this. You know, the fact that we're getting flooded with so much new anime every season, it really stood out. One thing I want to say too is like the opening and the endings are brilliant. Like, there's a lot of openings that you have to stick through. Anything written by Creepy Nuts, you know, so Dandadan or Mashal, you stick through those openings. But there's a lot of openings and endings that you don't stick through as well. Frieren has somehow managed to match its opening and endings to the feeling of the show. When the ending song comes on, and honestly, I should have written down in my notes what the ending song was. That's my bad. I'll probably drop it in the comments, or hey, if someone else knows it off the top of their head, drops it in there before I do, go ahead, I don't mind. When it comes to the ending, I'll sit there and watch it and listen because it makes me continue to be in their world and excited for the next episode. It's something that like you don't often get to see. Like, endings can be a bit of a jarring from a lot of animes, and you usually just skip it. Frieren is something I don't think I'm going to skip, and even the opening, I love the opening as well. It's just both songs and both opening animation sequences are fantastic. One thing I want to say is I am looking forward to seeing more on Stark. That cracked me up, by the way. Like Stark, like I love that it's given that little uniqueness to it, and not just Stark, you know. But his character is just hilarious, from the way he acts about his powers and the way he interacts with Fern, even though I haven't seen him in a lot of the episodes so far, and really it was only episode 6 that you got to see more of his personality and the way he interacts with other characters come out more. Like, you know, he has a very thieving face. And chronologically, he's a little guy. Like, if you've seen the episode, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He's just a little guy, you know. But the way he bounces off Fern and Fern bounces off him, I'm excited to see more of that. I'm excited to see more of all the characters, to be honest. But so far, I want to say, as much as I love Frieren and her older party, Himmel is one of my personal favorites. I don't know what it is about him yet that draws me to him, but I just adore that character so far. And I want to see some sort of happy ending for him. But other than that, Stark and Fern's interactions, I really want to see where their characters are going to go and the character developments that they're going to get, because they've already had so much. And if we continue with these little time skips, it's going to be really interesting to see how their characters can grow without us seeing all the boring day-to-day stuff, but still getting to see what makes Frieren so beautiful. And that is, like I said before, I guess kind of a fantasy slice of life. Anyway, that's what I've got for the first 6 episodes. I'll be back next week, round about the same time, with the next 6 episodes, and from what I've been told, the action does start to pick up a little bit more after Stark is involved. Obviously because they're going north of the wall now, and without spoiling anything for anyone, we're going to see some more monsters, I'm guessing. So far, we've only seen that one demon and the dragon. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how these characters still keep their whimsy to them and go into a more in-depth storyline that's not just, you know, collecting magical items and sort of stuff. But anyway, that's my first review on Frieren. I honestly want to give it... I'd give it an 8.5, maybe a 9 out of 10 right now. I'd love to give it a 10 out of 10, but just purely because I haven't seen the rest of the season yet, I'm going to give it the 8.5 to 9. I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. I'm excited to see more, and I can't wait to finish this video so I can go watch more. But aside from that, with the new season coming up, it starts in about a week. Actually, probably less than a week. It's April 1st. So, who knows? There are a few animes I want to do episode reviews on. Fire Force Season 3. Personally, I adore Fire Force. You can see there's a little Shinra behind my shoulder here. Not even little, that's actually quite a big Shinra. Loved Season 1 and 2. Such an underrated anime. If you haven't seen Fire Force, jump on and check out Seasons 1 and 2, and then get into watching Season 3, because it's going to be amazing. I'm fairly certain Season 3 will be the final season as well, so, you know, it's hopefully going to wrap everything up real nicely. Other animes I'd love to do reviews on: My Hero Academia Vigilantes. I've read some of the manga, so we'll see how that goes with it. Plus, I was always a big My Hero fan. I'd love to do Lazarus as well, just because, I mean, Cowboy Bebop, Lazarus, Mappa, Lazarus. It's going... If it doesn't hit it out of the park, I'm going to be sorely disappointed. But I honestly reckon it will. So far, it gives me the vibes of a Cowboy Bebop sort of esque anime. And a new one that I would love to review as well is, it's a Chinese one, I believe. It's called To Be Hero X, or something along those lines. Once again, I should have written that down in my notes. But but just the concept of the show so far, where it's a person is superpowers are more powerful the more they're trusted by the community, or something along those lines. It's another one of those shows that, while it has a very similar trope and storyline, it's still kind of different. Just the idea of it so far reminds me a little bit of Tiger and Bunny on Netflix. If you haven't seen that, it's hilarious. But no, I'd love to do that one as well. So they're going to be my 4. Hopefully I don't have to drop any. But if there's any you would love me to chuck on for episode reviews, put that in the comments as well. As for shorts, I'm going to do a few rankings over the next week or two. I would love to do rankings involving the big 3. So maybe it's something like, I'd love to rank the Gotai captains, the Gotai 13 captains from Bleach. Maybe we can rank fight scenes from Naruto. Maybe we can rank, why don't we just chuck in rankings of, the Straw Hat crew? Like, these are the things we're going to do on this channel. So once again, I'd love to hear from your feedback. I'd love to hear what you guys want to see me do more of. And let's get into deeper discussions about how animation, or animated things in general, are becoming such a beautiful art form now. Like, it's things from like the Owl House, which can it draws on such raw emotion that firstly, it's a damn shame that Disney cancelled it. We needed more, but we are getting more from the creator of Owl House later on this year through Glitch. So that I'm super, super excited for. Definitely want to, check out some video games. I've currently started playing Spiritfarer. The animation in that is beautiful as well. So I'm excited to go deeper into these conversations to really discuss my favorite form of art and creation, which is animation, just as a whole. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope something I can say over these next few episodes wants you to get into Frieren. If you're not already a fan of anime or animation, maybe it'll make you a fan. Maybe you can jump into this stuff and follow along with me, and we can have, little comment discussions and stuff. But, fingers crossed, these videos get better, they get more followers. So if you've liked and want to continue this journey with me, drop us a subscribe. You can find me on both Instagram and TikTok under Leafy Dandelions. I'll be dropping some shorts there, maybe some previews there as well. And let's go on this journey together, guys, because animation has really become a huge part of the world over the last decade or so. I mean, animation's always been a huge thing, right from back, Studio Ghibli days. And so that's another ranking we can do. Let's rank all the Miyazaki films. Let's jump on and see, all these things we can do to get deeper into these conversations about this beautiful art form. And yeah, hopefully you can come along the journey with me, and we can keep growing and learning and loving animation together. And obviously loving these two little loafs. You can also follow them on Instagram. Drop us all a like, and we will see you on the next episode. Thank you, and mwah!